Good morning, everyone. This is a magic video, sort of, today. It's all about Havic the Bothering. There's a very good resource on the Magic Library's website about all the cards in the set and the history of the card game. It was made in 1998 by PGI Limited. They were sold in these 60 card deck boxes. Starter decks. It was a parody of Magic the Gathering, and was sold for $8.99 a starter deck. This one is empty, obviously, and they were in Connecticut. So after Alpha Beta Unlimited, Revised, Mirage, Weatherlight, I mean, those sets, Visions, they all came out. Alliances was 97, and then this was kind of being thought of and created at the time. It did get a cease and desist from Wizards. Wizards was not happy about this card game being made, so they stopped making them and recalled them from the market very quickly, and there weren't many of them out there in the collecting world. So somehow some of them existed and survived, and people collected them. They were kind of culturally inappropriate at the time, and they're like severely not funny today, but they were made. The set was called School Days. It kind of riffed on like the unpopular aspects of high school, and so a lot of those characters are pictured in the cards. Each deck came with a rule sheet. There's a lot of similarities to Magic the Gathering. They're very close, but they try to stay away from copyright infringement. Each deck box had a rule sheet that was, I think, just one-sided. It reminded me of, this is a Legends rule sheet from the Legends booster packs. Very similar in design. The Legends rule sheet talks about banding, Rampage, and multicolored cards. And the Havic rule sheet tells you about the game and what the differences are between Havic and Magic. So you obviously have opponents have 21 points of sanity, so they're not life points and not 20, but it's close. It's 21 points of sanity, and you play until you lose your sanity points. Then to reduce your opponent's sanity, you'll need to recruit peons. Instead of creatures, they're called peons. And use articles instead of spells, I guess, and to destroy your opponent before they destroy you. Your deck is your weapon. After you shuffle your deck, you draw 8 cards instead of 7. You roll a die. Whoever rolls the highest number goes first. When it's your turn, you drop a property card. So they don't have lands, they have property cards. Instead of being tapped, they're called whacked, or turn it sideways, so you whack a card instead of tap it. And there are brewery cards, which yield alcohol unit, and there are convenience store cards that yield units of cigarettes. So obviously, like, not very appropriate for kids if you're using alcohol and cigarettes to play the game, but that was kind of the currency in high school. Beer and cigarettes seems to be what the creators of this game were interested in. And let's see, the cards are similarly laid out to Magic cards. Do not have each player construct their own library of predetermined number of game components by examining and selecting the game components from reservoir game components, or you may infringe on the U.S. patent number 5662332 to Garfield. So yeah, they were trying to stay away from the copyrights of Magic, but they got a little too close, and Wizards said, no, you can shut it down. I think Rudy from Alpha Investments also had a great video on this set of cards. He had a starter deck that he looked at maybe 5 years ago, and I had actually had a number of the cards. A couple years before that, I saw a large collection and kind of started speculating a little bit on those cards. I thought they were interesting. I thought they were pretty scarce too. They reminded me of alpha cards. So I'll show you the difference in some of the cards here. This is an alpha card, an alpha stone rain. And in particularly, I think the art of Havic the Bothering cards reminded me of Magic, some of the Magic cards. This was the Havic card. It's called Student Socialist, and it's like airbrushed. And then this card is Panic by Mike Kimball. We opened this in Ice Age, and I was like, that's right. This reminds me of Havic the Bothering. So we're gonna do a quick video to discuss the basic premise of the set. The corners were rounded, similar to Alpha, but the size of the card was, I'd say, like 1 millimeter bigger than Alpha cards. And the corners were probably a little bit less rounded than Alpha, but more rounded than the standard Magic card. So if you compare Havic to Magic, you can see these corners are rounded. And the backs of the cards are different. They have this pool table on them, which is in the shape of the Magic card back, but it has some beer cans and cigarettes on it, which I'm imagining the creators of Havic spent some time in the pool halls thinking about this game. It's also shinier, so it's like some of the glossy Ice Age cards. This card is matte finish, but the Havic cards have a little gloss to them. And again, they kind of remind me of Alpha Magic cards because of the rounded corners and just the way that the card is laid out with the title up here. The casting cost was moved over here, but they still have power and toughness down in this corner and copyright at the bottom, and then what the card is on that part of the frame, and then the text of what the card does. So Stone Rain destroys any one land. Student Socialist redirects 1 damage from him to any other peon you control. So kind of like a deflection from Ice Age. But those are the 3 versions of these cards that I thought were similar, and the evolution from Alpha to Ice Age to Havic, which was released in 1998. That's the quick overview of Havic. I do have, put that there, I do have a 800 count box of cards that is mostly Havic the Bothering cards. So they came in these deck boxes. I have just empty deck boxes, and what I put together were complete sets of Havic. I've got 1, 2, I've got 3 full sets, and then I have like, this is an extra deck box of basic lands, breweries probably. This is an extra deck box of convenience stores. This one had some extra rule books in it, these little rule sheets. And then I made 2 playable decks of 40 cards, I think. They were constructed 40 or 60, I can't remember. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So yeah, these are 60 card decks. I made 2 of those. I'll probably cover those in another video. I think I've played this game 1 time. But maybe I will do a quick demonstration on how these decks work. There's cards like Beer Bolt, does 3 damage to chosen peon or player, so it's for 1 brewery, 1 unit of alcohol. So very similar to Lightning Bolt. And these are the breweries, are like the basic land cards. There's this fake out card, gain 3 cigarette units for 1 cigarette, so that's like a dark ritual. And characters, Fart of Fury, chosen peon is removed from the game. So that's kind of like a Swords to Plowshare. So a lot of the cards and mechanics are very similar. Mortarboard, sacrifice Mortarboard to look through chosen player's library and remove 3 cards from your choice. So very much like a Jester's Cap So you can definitely tell that the creators of this card game were influenced by Magic the Gathering. For whatever reason, when I put these cards in sets, I used sleeves that were different colored, and I think they came in packs of 40, so I needed like 2 sets of sleeves to sleeve up all 90 some cards. I think there were like 91 or 97 Havic cards. So I might unsleeve these actually at some point and put them in just regular sleeves, and then use these colored sleeves for Ice Age 40 decks, because I want to make some Ice Age 40 decks. So that's a quick intro to Havic the Bothering today. I will go through the sets in another video. If you're interested in the Havic the Bothering sets in the card and to see what cards make up a set, I'd be making another video to kind of go through that. I'll take some time to unsleeve those and maybe sleeve them up in regular sleeves. But that's a quick intro. If you've heard of Havic before, feel free to put a comment below. Stay tuned for a few more videos on the topic. Appreciate everybody. Have a great day today.